Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
What's up, y'all? It's Jeff Cobb, and you're listening to Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show on Social Suplex Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Listener discretion is advised at all times.
Thank you once again for downloading and listening to another episode of the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. My name is Clive and I am joined by my co-host, the only perfect 10 to represent WWE. Ricky, how are you tonight, sir?
Doing well. Yourself?
I'm alright. My cold/cough has come back with a vengeance, but I have it at bay for the time being.
I mean, in all honesty, I don't think it ever left.
It was away for at least a week. We're okay. Don't worry. Don't you worry about me, pal.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Before we get into the meat of the matter, please head over to powerslam.tv, where you can get, with the help of the Social Suplex promo code, over 4,000 hours of independent wrestling streamed to the device of your choice. That's 4,000 hours. Again, there aren't even 4,000 hours in a month, so think of all the content you've got there. And there's Ricky's videos working on Skype now. You're looking lovely, as usual.
Thanks.
So, we had a pay-per-view this weekend, and it was Elimination Chamber. Ricky, what were your thoughts overall on the night? Because we haven't really discussed it, have we?
I don't think so. I think we discussed the women's and that was it.
Yep, that was it. I think so. Tell me, how did you enjoy Elimination Chamber 2019?
I thought it was fine. I enjoyed both chamber matches. Mm-hmm. Definitely. I enjoyed 205. The 1-on-2 handicap match, it wasn't bad or anything.
It served its purpose.
Yeah, Corbin and Strowman. I'm never really going to buy into the feud. Mm-hmm. The match itself, the ending, could have done without the ending.
To the Corbin match? Mm-hmm. Right. With the Shield powerbomb?
I think it's just because I feel like you can use Drew better.
I think
That's
so
all.
too. I think so too.
And I guess the Ronda and Ruby Riott match, I get the kind of, I get it was to serve a purpose, and I know it was basically the spotlight and what we wanted people to be talking about is what took place post match, and I'm sure we'll get into that. Mm-hmm. I was hoping to see an actual match though, to be honest.
So was I.
And I know they've done the rematch the following night on Raw. I suppose that was probably I think that was my biggest gripe in it all. And I know people are saying it was basically to kind of spotlight Becky coming and attacking the both of them, etc., and everything that took place after the match. I just wanted to see like a proper match. I felt like they could have had a real good match, and it was a chance to kind of spotlight Ruby Riott as well. But overall, let's say the two chamber matches really stood out.
Definitely.
You can't comment on the Ronda match. You can only really talk about what took place after it and stuff.
The segment.
Yep. Usos and Shane and Miz. I thought it was a good match as well. I enjoyed that match. I was contemplating changing my pick after the whole incident that went down with Naomi and
Jimmy,
yep, with the police, but I didn't. Purely because I kind of forgot to. So I was quite pleasantly surprised they win.
Well, didn't was it Jay that was arrested?
Yeah, for a DUI.
Around the time, was that last year or was that a couple of years ago?
I feel it was about 18 months or so ago.
But was it not around the time with the American Alpha, when they were feuding with American Alpha? I'm not sure. That seems too long ago. I can't really. It would be unfair to really say when it was because I don't know. So I don't know, but I don't think it would have changed the influence. You could argue maybe that it changed their influence in the Women's Chamber with Carmella and Naomi going out first, but it was going to be someone. The Usos thing in particular, that's the that's the most negative for me out of the whole night. I've just not got on board at any point with the Miz Shane carry on. This road that Miz is going down does not ring true at all. He's making out as if he's got daddy issues because his dad only started paying attention because of this greatest in the world thing and the tag team run with Shane. Miz even said, I mean, the match was fine. As you say, it served a purpose. It furthered a storyline. Usos were used to help further that with the win. I liked how the win was done with Miz struggling to roll either one of the Usos over for the pin. I'm not going to pretend I know the difference between them. But for the crucifix pin that was reversed into, Shane's coast to coast, his elbow drops, you know what the score is, so it wasn't a bad match, but they furthered the storyline this week with the Miz saying on SmackDown, when we won the tag titles at Royal Rumble, that was the first time my dad said that he loved me. So you're trying to tell me that a guy who's main evented WrestleMania, who retained at WrestleMania, who has won many tag team championships before, has won many singles championships before, who is married to a beautiful woman, who has a child,
and another on the way,
another one on the way, and this is the first time your dad says he loves you. This is either Miz. The only way this can work for me is if it's a Miz heel turn, because if not, then Miz's dad is a heartless bastard who is a mark for Shane McMahon, and that's what it boils down to.
Thing is, I don't think my dad's ever told me he loves me, though. You know, so...
Oh, well, this took a sombre turn very quickly.
So, yeah, I would agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kayfabe-wise and story-wise, like, how does this even make sense? I kind of want Shane to turn on Miz.
Something's going to happen at Fastlane.
Oh, definitely. One of them's going to cost the other one, or they're going to lose and the other one's going to attack one of them, either after the match or on the SmackDown.
It's just, with Miz being this babyface, things that he's saying, they're not... He might think they're true, but they're not true. All these... He's only proud of his accolades now. That just is nonsense.
Kind of like your classic old school heel who says things and is kind of deluded.
And that usually works with heels better.
Who knows? Maybe Mizzy's dad is a heartless bastard. Who knows? And I've just buried my own father on the podcast.
I know that was not expected.
It's fine. It's fine.
Do you think your father would say he loved you if you won a tag championship alongside Shane McMahon?
Probably not, no. No, not at all. Not at all. Maybe that explains why I'm such a needy person.
Don't, because I'll go off on one here. Live on air.
We're getting deep.
So that I'd say that was a negative, not from a wrestling quality standpoint, just because I can't buy into this at all. No, that wasn't even me taking into account Shane's part-timeism, as it were. The Ronda Rousey, the Ruby Riott situation, okay, it could have been done better. They could have had a longer, even if the match lasted 3-4 minutes longer, and Charlotte's just sitting there at ringside and Ronda's distracted and they start trash-talking each other and they start fighting and it results in some sort of disqualification. So the match is cancelled and then they do the altercation in the ring. I think that would have been better. It would have quote-unquote protected Ruby Riott a bit more. But she looked like a fool on Sunday night and we know that she's not a fool. So it was a bit hard to stomach, but as you say, it was more about what they were going to do with Charlotte and Becky coming down later on. Again, Charlotte is embarrassed. Again. And I hope the people who were very vocal in their hatred of Nia and wanting her either sent back to developmental or fired feel the same about Becky's throwing a plastic object which has the potential for many a shrapnel getting flung about the place when she busted open Ronda the hard way. Anything, obviously, as far as we're aware, nothing happened from that, but anything could have happened with those crutch shots to the head. And you saw the state of Charlotte's arm on SmackDown this week as well. But it's cool, because it's Becky, she can do what she wants.
Exactly. I've said many a times, I like Becky. I just hate the way people have got her. I don't want to say I've got her on a pedestal because she's been unbelievable since SummerSlam. But if it was roles were reversed here, like, it would just be constant look at that now, they're trying to derail her momentum and bury her, and it's like, get the blinkers off, put down the drink, sober up, and look at the situation. At what point, outside of one moment in Australia, has Becky looked weak? And I know people are going to turn around and say, well, she apologised. Fine, okay, I'll give you that then. That's 2 moments. And you can't even say she looked weak at the Royal Rumble because it was Asuka she was up against. And then, ultimately, it doesn't really matter if Asuka beat her in a 30-minute clinic or she made her tap out in the first 10 seconds, because all everyone's going to remembers now is her forcing her way into a match that she was not involved in, despite this ongoing storyline that Charlotte seems to insert herself into everything when Charlotte hasn't done a single thing wrong. An entire storyline. So the reality is, folks, Becky's a heel and Charlotte is the baby.
What did Charlotte say in her mid pay-per-view promo?
Can't remember.
Oh, well, it was kind of a rhetorical question anyway, so I'll just lead in. She said something along the lines of, Becky just panders to the crowd because she needs that validation, and Charlotte just looks in the mirror and gets all the validation she needs. There's some truth in that. She's the
best damn female wrestler in the world.
Yes, but her comment about Becky is true.
Yep.
As is evidenced by the Stone Cold Stunners at house shows, all that carry on. She loves pandering to the crowd, and fair play, she is, but she's a heel. She's a heel!
Like I said, I don't even hate Becky. This has been like a...
We are embracing the fiction.
She literally had a rocket strapped to her back and just set off to the moon. Mm-hmm. And it's actually been like pretty awesome to see some of the things that she's doing. Like that moment where she comes swaggering down before Survivor Series down to the Raw ring. That was unbelievable. And I know we hate the comparisons, but it was kind of Austin-esque. It was I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps more about that than seeing her bloodied and standing at the in the crowd at the end, because I thought that was an awesome visual of just her walking down, showing no fear whatsoever. So I says, we're not even hating on Charlotte. We're just kind of, Becky. We're just kind of keeping it real. Like, too many people get caught up in their favourites and then can't understand why they might eventually get their comeuppance, or one week where they may get beat down. Like, everyone seems to think that Becky should just be going on this tear and basically ripping female wrestlers apart. It's not the way it goes. Like, come on, man, she's on storyline wise, she's on one leg and then she beats down, let's be honest about it, the probably two biggest badass female wrestlers in the company.
Yeah.
And when one in Ronda Rousey, who legitimately used to beat up other female fighters just as if she was barely breaking sweat.
It's still fascinating. I think we are being worked because we're picking sides, and that's what they want.
Oh, I think everybody knew the whole injury and suspension thing was a work from very beginning, and because see, at the end of the day, like, it's kind of difficult to, like, come on, who really wants to come out and see someone just cut promos on each other for like 9 straight weeks? It'll get kind of boring, and you're going to start repeating yourself. I
think it's hard to say that after the altercation on Sunday night, that a 3-way isn't the best way to go.
I completely agree. And everyone that was saying that Charlotte shouldn't be in this, I have a feeling a lot of them come WrestleMania time are going to say, yep, we're happy it's a 3-way. But you're just still going to get the people who are just going to be adamant and just, again, get the blinkers on and say, no, Charlotte shouldn't be in this situation.
Which is the point of being worked. That's what I meant to. I wasn't talking about being worked about Becky's injury, just that people have picked sides. They're fully invested in the feud, whether they think it's real or not. Like backstage real is what I mean. Everyone's picked their sides. We've picked our sides with Charlotte. Will you be disappointed though if Becky does actually win? If she gets back into the match? No, neither will. I think if and when it happens, it'll be oh gosh darn it. But at the same time, it's a massive moment.
It won't be for me. I mean, as of right now, like, if Becky wins, I would say I'm happy with that. But do remember, at the SummerSlam match, I'm like one of the biggest Charlotte fans you'll find. And even at the SummerSlam, I wanted her to win, but I even said it when we had Jeremy on for the post-SummerSlam show, was that as soon as the 1, 2, 3 happened, my initial feeling wasn't joy or happiness or like, oh yes, Charlotte win. It was the wrong woman win. And even who knows how I'm going to feel, like Becky might win, and depending on how the rest of the next sort of 6 weeks go and how the match develops, I might have that feeling if Becky eventually wins and I'll be like, no, the wrong female win. But it could go the same way again at SummerSlam. If Charlotte wins, I could have that feeling again. But as of right now, I think Becky must win.
See, I felt the very same way about the main event. Deep down, I know that it makes sense, storyline-wise, for Daniel Bryan to retain and to keep going, keep his momentum going as this nutcase, this maniac, who all the credit in the world to Kofi. But Daniel Bryan was in there from the very beginning, and he put on a devastating performance throughout. But I'll get to that in a minute. Although I knew that it made more sense for Daniel Bryan to win, I was disappointed that Kofi didn't. That's how magical those last 10 minutes were. The false finishes, the kickouts. Thought there was a very small part of me that thought this is happening right here. They're going to do it, and when it didn't, it was very deflating.
I'd agree. I'm kicking myself because I said to Rance, and I was going to say to Caleb as well, because they were both at the show, how badly did the crowd want Kofi to win? Like was it because we felt it coming through the TV? Like I wanted to know how it felt like in the arena. But just to touch on Daniel Bryan, like It's just the little small things that he does, you know, when he steps out of the ring and starts walking about and jogging about, and then suddenly out of nowhere he climbed the pod and just kind of sat back and tried to hide away. And Daniel Bryan has got his character, he's got it down perfectly at the moment. It was nice to see him win clean as well. Mm-hmm. No, like, I know with the Chamber, like, how other way you're going to win, but at least Rowan wasn't involved somehow. Yeah. And I know they've announced Kofi versus Daniel Bryan at Fastlane as well. I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed when Kofi doesn't win at Fastlane.
Yep.
And I can understand that. I definitely understand that, but I would keep the title on Daniel Bryan, but I feel like I say, there's just a real lack of opponents for Daniel Bryan at the moment. Because at least if Kofi win, you could always go, right, fine, we'll run it again one last time. Kofi versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
There are a lack of opponents. Traction has been made with Kevin Owens promos, the everyday man, who has enjoyed excess, as shown in his videos, with popcorn and steak and partying and whatnot. That goes against Daniel Bryan's ideals, so people have started to think that maybe Kevin Owens will be the man that comes forward. I would really like them. I'm not denying. I think what happened with Kofi Kingston the last couple of weeks was what was going to happen for Ali.
Oh, most definitely.
And I'm gutted that he hasn't had this opportunity. But I'm fully on board with Kofi now. I would love to see Kofi beat Bryan at Mania. I think that would be one of the more memorable moments in all of WrestleMania history. For obvious reasons, but just for general storyline reasons as well. That would be staggeringly epic if it was to happen. But Daniel Bryan was unbelievable in that match. Just as you said, his character work. I prefer his style of wrestling like this as well. He's not doing the greatest hits. I mean, you heard when he's doing the no kicks, the people were so against him. For a guy who was a fan favourite, and people were in tears because of his return to wrestling after his health.
It literally was like the second coming.
Mm-hmm, it was. And what he's done, he's made people despise him.
Very quickly.
I'm sure Rand said that there were people not sobbing, but there were tears in folks' eyes with just how bitter they felt about how the match ended. He's devastating just now. I know he has the odd dirty win, and he has been beaten clean a couple of times, but he's just brutal. I would say this is the best Daniel Bryan that we've ever had.
I've always said heel Daniel Bryan is better than face Daniel Bryan, because the face Daniel Bryan, in my opinion, ran its course.
Right.
And I don't know if that was down to the fact that people kind of got over the whole yes, or was it down to booking or what? But I prefer seeing Daniel Bryan as a heel. Just to touch on a couple of other things, like at some point Joe has got to win a big time feud.
You took the next thought out of my mind.
At some point he has to, because he looked excellent in the Chamber. And the great thing is, like, kayfabe wise and character wise, and like, people are still afraid of him when in reality they shouldn't.
Exactly. He's like Bray Wyatt all over again.
Can't wait for Bray to come back either.
I stay by my thought that wins and losses, individual wins and losses don't matter, but see, when wins and losses of feuds, they very much matter. And Joe's credibility is nowhere for me.
I would agree with that as well. And I think it's also how you lose as well. Because with Joe literally has lost a big one time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to do something, because he is like we talk about his promo skills, he literally can just go, he can talk with anyone His in-ring ability is phenomenal. And he could be like the number one heel in the company.
He's injury prone.
You just need to do something with him, though. I'm not saying put a title on him. I'm not even saying put the US title or anything like that on him. I'm just saying give him a significant win.
I think he does need a title.
I would be happy if he got the US title as well. And I like R-Truth. I think R-Truth's absolutely hilarious. But I would be on board for seeing Truth versus Joe at WrestleMania. Joe wins the title.
Mm-hmm. That'd be good.
And the other thing, since we mentioned WrestleMania, is we're getting AJ versus Orton.
Yes,
I felt that leaving SmackDown, and it felt even more evident coming out of Backlash.
The seeds have been firmly planted. Backlash?
Sorry, Chamber. And that is one Orton match that I can definitely go on board with.
As long as Orton's willing to play ball, yes.
Because see, at the end of the day, Randy Orton, when he's motivated or when he wants to put on a good match, I'm telling you, there are very, very few people better than him in the world.
And I think he has come across to me as motivated the last few months.
Yep.
He's a bit part player just now. I'll give him that. What I mean is, like for instance, he came down late in the gauntlet match. He was last in the actual chamber match, so he's not involved too much. So he's not hogging the limelight, but he's still
less is more.
Less is more. And when he's there, he does make an impact. So I'm coming round to him a bit more. I know Kyle Moores will not be happy. Go away, Randy Orton. I get it, but I can get behind AJ. And as I said last week, that is a high enough profile match for AJ.
Yep. Most definitely.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk for a second about how inconsequential Jeffrey Hardy was, though? Because why was he there?
He hit that one swanton when... Who did it hit on it? Was Daniel Bryan, was it? Was it Daniel?
AJ.
Was it AJ? When AJ was in, like, at the turnbuckle as well. That was awesome. But, yeah.
There's just...
That spot could have been given to someone else.
Yep. Insert another wrestler in there, and he didn't do much in the gauntlet match either. Poor Jeffrey. He can go away.
Most definitely.
Him and Matt should have a TV series on the network where they're just on the compound. Just a wee 20-minute.
I'd watch that.
Quirky comedy stuff. Not presented like Edge and Christian, but just as if it's scripted. I'd be fine with that. Right, sticking with chamber matches. I was blown away by the women's chamber match, the tag team titles match. To start the show off like that was really well done. Obviously, you have the feel-good moment of Sasha and Bayley winning. Now
surprising moment, I felt.
I was surprised. I thought it was Nia and Tamina.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was them all the way. But you can tie that up to the couples therapy that they had last year. You can tie up all the... I'm doing it. I'm sticking my stick in the mud, whatever the analogy is. That they knew this was happening all along, and they had the will they, won't they split up. Who will turn heel, who won't. And then they reconciled. They did tag team work for a long time. All the way back at Evolution, might I add. They've been behind each other. They both had shots at Ronda Rousey, by the way, and ran her close. So there was a solidarity there as well. This has been in the works for a long time. I'm telling you. Who says WWE doesn't do long-term storytelling?
I mean, sure.
Thanks.
The match itself, right? So, I was also very impressed with it. I really, really liked it. And at first I felt, maybe because my expectations of it were so low, but I don't think so. I felt the entire match was really good. It was kind of nice to see the two tag teams that started the match are the final two. I think Sonya Deville is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I was quite surprised to see Naomi take the pin. I know some people are going to say, oh, that was her being punished for the incident with the police. But overall, it was a real good match. The Iconics.
Fantastic.
I just want to give them a cuddle.
Just that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, speak for yourself. The Iconics they did their character down to a T. Came into the came in from the pod, took turns after everyone was laid out of pinning everyone that was down. It didn't work. Started ganging up on individuals. Then they hid when Tamina and Nia came in. And even see the way they pinned Carmella, Naomi.
That was excellent.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was straight out the Brainbusters playbook. That was just superb stuff. But it's not everyone involved. Honestly, I would say all those women should get a pat in the back because it was just fantastic from start to finish. You are as well a big fan of the hashtag organised chaos that WWE put on in these big matches, and I would put that up there in terms of personal preference with the 5v5 men's match at Survivor Series 2016. Just so many moving parts, but executed perfectly. Nobody looked out of place. There weren't any lulls throughout the match. It was just constantly something. There was always something interesting at play. The bit in the middle where every one of them, bar Nia and Tamina, executed their finishers, and it just ended with Sonya spearing out in the middle of nowhere. That was just fantastic. I'm lost for words a wee bit. I'm trying to thing me. What's the word? I can't even think of the word. I'm trying to articulate my joy of this match, but I can't do it justice. I think it was excellent. Nia and Tamina were eliminated in a credible way, with Nia slamming herself through the pod, which eliminates her from the match. I thought that was well done. Just many plaudits for it. I would even say I preferred it to the other Chamber match, because the Chamber match in the main event was great, but mostly because of the Kofi versus Daniel Bryan last 10-15 minutes at the end.
I felt the Joe and Daniel Bryan bit was also excellent to open that match. The great thing about it was a tag team elimination chamber. Like you said, so many moving parts, so many bodies in the ring. And like you said, it didn't look sloppy at all.
No.
And that was my big fear of coming into the chamber, was it was going to be a real sloppy affair.
It was
very surprised.
Very crisp.
Sorry, on you go.
And on you go. I'm just agreeing. It was very crisp.
Very surprised that Sasha and Bayley win. I thought they would. I said it last week. Nia and Tamina will win, but I feel like if you want to show everyone that you feel it's a credible division, then you put it on Sasha and Bayley. I don't have any gripes whatsoever from this match. I suppose my only thing is, and I think this is not just this match itself, this is just in general, when things start to break down and then you see people just starting to hit all their finishers, sometimes I'm not overly keen on that because it looks too staged.
True.
And what I'll say is, and what I mentioned there is staged. Who was it? Was it Zach Gibson took on Dream? Did he not? At the
Worlds
Collide.
Oh, I don't think it was Zach Gibson.
Right, it was Zach Gibson taking on someone anyway, and I can't remember who it was now.
Carrillo.
I don't know who he took on now. Anyway, so there's a moment. Zach Gibson, I think he throws his opponent into the ropes, and rather than standing there watching someone do these flips and coming towards him and just standing there and not doing anything, rather than the natural thing is you would just move out of the way.
It was
because
Carrillo.
you have. So what happened was Gibson throws him in, and what Zach Gibson done was like he intentionally stumbled, and then as he was getting up, he looks up and there's his body basically on top of him. Perfectly done.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly done. And that's my only gripe about that match, but like I say, it's people in general, is that when things start to break down, all of a sudden it looks too choreographed that everyone then starts hitting their finishers, and I can get why they do it. It just that's a little bugbear of mine.
That's a fair criticism. I didn't feel that way with it. I actually thought that the camera work was pretty decent for this match. They seemed to stay at pace with everything that was going on. There was a bit of a carry on in the main event, but I didn't feel as if it was staged. I think what was more staged was the people incoming rather than the people waiting for the finishers, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. A couple of other points that I want to say about it was the solidarity between the tag teams was very strong, and obviously they've been tagging with each other for months now in the lead up to this, but there was just a real sense of unity with the likes of the Riot Squad jumping off the pods together. It was very, very tag team based, and I really enjoyed that, whereas even in the men's tag team division there's hints of unrest or self-jealousy. Just didn't get that at all in these matches, which was excellent. And I think as well, the women were afforded... See, because the chamber matches by nature are claustrophobic, but because of the women's lesser frames, they're obviously not towering like guys and not as broad-shouldered. They've still got a lot of room and freedom to wrestle like they normally do. So it felt as if the pace wasn't shortened. It wasn't a case of just grinding people into the ropes or the chains. Very free flowing, unlike my speech. Just excellent. I'm going to go as far as say it's going to take something special on the main roster to top that for my match of the year.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't go that far yet.
Okay, that's fine.
But I certainly can't sit and argue with you. You say that was a match of the night. I probably still prefer the men's chamber, but only maybe just. And that is, I don't think there was much in it. And who knows, once we get done recording or when I watch it again, I might say the women's are better. Like I say, I don't have any complaints about that whatsoever. And like you say, when you talk about the tag teams, they were all like in sync and in harmony. There was a moment where, I don't know if it was Billie Kay or it was Peyton Royce. I want to say it was Peyton, whose foot, as Sasha and Bayley were lying on the floor, you kind of saw her flying towards him and almost falling on top of him, but like you saw Sasha covering Bayley's face with her hands, because that's where Peyton's boot was coming straight down her face. It was like just small things like that. I'm sure she's just looking out, like real life wise. I don't want her to get hurt, so I'll kind of protect her in that sense. But you can kind of tie it into the storyline as well. That look at that, they care so much about one another, and they're always got each other's back. Because for two of the tag teams, right, Bayley and Sasha, there's always been hints, not even hints, like they've actually put hands on one another. And then you go and, is it Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, there's been some issues there in the past as well. Nia and Tamina are still relatively new-ish together. And the same goes with Naomi and Carmella, they're brand new. So, like I say, the only tag team in the match that have been together and shown no kind of animosity or tenseness is the Iconics. And like you say, all that was storyline wise, you could almost say kayfabe wise that all that was kind of put to one side because they all shared this one goal. And like you say, the cohesion and the
Just the togetherness.
The togetherness, just being in sync, everything was absolutely perfect.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. And the great thing is I think the match lasted, overall was about maybe about 40 odd minutes, maybe.
Including entrances, probably.
It never really felt like that at all.
Uh-huh.
Like you said, at no point, I think you put it perfectly where you says that at no point there was any kind of lull periods.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't 12 women wrestling and like independently of one another. It was 6 units wrestling, and that's what I appreciated about it. So it never at any point felt cluttered, clumsy, laborious, just top notch. Watch it again. I'll pause the podcast and you can watch it just now.
I say pretty flawless.
Yep. Right, we've waxed lyrical enough about that match just now. There's not much else to talk about from this pay-per-view. The handicap match, as we said, served its purpose. We predicted correctly. We'll touch on the predictions shortly. Finn Balor does look good with that IC title around his 0% body fat waist.
Yep.
It's as if it was meant for him to wear it.
I think he was born not to wear anything at all, to be honest.
There may be some that do agree with you in that one. The Braun Strowman match, I actually paid close attention to this because I did a column a few weeks ago on the old Lords of Pain about Braun Strowman's character and how he's a bit of an idiot. So I was seeing if he would make any grave errors in this match to lead to Corbin winning, which I predicted. It just so turns out that he was completely outnumbered by 3 guys who are only slightly smaller than him. So I can accept Strowman's loss. As for the faction, the stable, whatever they are, okay, but do something with them. Don't just have them meander through Raws and every week and then at the odd pay-per-view just do nothing. Give them some impetus, give them something to do.
Or you can just let Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley meander and fucking do something with Drew.
Yep. There are rumours of a Kurt Angle retirement match at WrestleMania.
Let Drew put him in his grave.
For reals?
Oh, not for real, but, you know.
Claymore kick the milk right off his face.
That's it. That is it.
And then stuff the medals down his throat. I can't believe we're speaking ill of King Kurt.
I know, I absolutely love Kurt. And I've watched that, remember the Hall of Fame return video, the package you put together. I've watched that, I can't tell you how many times. I absolutely love him. Mm-hmm. But dearie me, do something with Drew.
I know. What was it? It was the Cruiserweight match. Hats off. Excellent. There was one point where Buddy Murphy had Tozawa up so high that I thought Tozawa's head was scraping the bottom of the chamber. And they still managed to reverse it into a Hurricanrana. Not the best Cruiserweight title match I've ever seen, but it was still excellent. Lots of very good high spots. And for a wee second I did think Tozawa was going to do it because he was looking very strong in that match. I have to say, and I know it's in the pre-show, so there already is that level of not caring by WWE. But you've got a whole hour of a pre-show there, where you've got lots of shit on for the rest of the hour. Why on earth did they shoehorn in the New Day promo into the middle of that match? There was just absolutely no need for it. You've got a whole other hour to play with.
Nothing matters on a pre-show, apparently.
It's very frustrating. It really is.
No, I know. But, and I mentioned this in our WhatsApp group chat, is Buddy Murphy entering Neville territory? In the sense that, where are the credible opponents coming from?
There are credible opponents, they're just all heels. That's the problem. There aren't enough big time baby faces on 205 Live.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because it's not very often are they going to go heel versus heel.
I don't imagine so.
So, I mean, I'd love to see Drew Gulak, but...
Oh, aye. I would be happy with what Drew Gulak went over to NXT after his match with Matt Riddle. Ladies and gents, I enjoyed a Matt Riddle match.
Woohoo!
Yay, finally.
See what happens when he wrestles another good wrestler?
Aye.
And not the fucking likes of Cassius Ohno?
Well, you just calm yourself down to a riot, young man. No, it was very good, that Drew Gulak Matt Riddle match. I'm annoyed that Matt Riddle won, but that's just me being worked. I don't know about who will win. They've announced a tournament last night. They seem to have the hots for Humberto Carrillo, and he is not just... It's too softy with his offence.
Yeah, you don't like him at all, do you?
Not particularly. He's very agile, he's good, but it's just not for me. We've seen this person isn't everyone's cup of tea, but whenever Kalisto and Buddy Murphy have locked up, they have put on disgustingly brutal matches, so I'd be up for that. Just drop the Lucha House Party shite. But we'll see how the tournament unfolds over the next few weeks. Right, will we move on to what the rather striking things that happened on Raw and SmackDown this week?
Yep.
So, out of nowhere, Johnny Gargano, or as someone I saw online saying, tomato trumper and Johnny Oregano. Or oregano for our American listeners.
Oregano,
yep. We started the language first. Right, who else? Alistair.
They're butchering our language.
Yep. Alistair Black and Ricochet, Trevor Mann. What are your thoughts on this? Do you have any?
I'll let you take the lead on it, and I'll chime in.
Right, so the positives from it. NXT, if this is permanent, then it's freed up a lot of space, a lot of real estate in the main event scene of NXT, which I think is well overdue, because the main event scene has been pretty much dominated by DIY for a year now. It'd be much more refreshing to have something else happen in the main event of a takeover. Other positives are all your faves, not yours, but all these faves that everyone has, they're going to be spotlighted. They all had wins this week on Raw and SmackDown, and there's a high chance that they'll be involved in WrestleMania in some form or another. They're getting microphone time. Alistair Black's looking very good, although he's moody. But the negatives are, why? Why is this necessary when there's 6 weeks to WrestleMania? Why inject 4 new wrestlers from NXT into the product when you've not done much with the wrestlers who were brought in at the start of January in the first place? There's still untold stories in NXT as well, because I'm not going to go down the spoiler route, but there's something's happened with regards to one of the men, one of those 4 that's come from NXT. That's unresolved. Tommaso Ciampa's still got a title round his arm, Goldie. That's unresolved. I know they did it with Kevin Owens, but they worked that into the TV tapings of NXT as well, and it was done expertly when Kevin Owens was the champion while feuding with Cena. It does smack of, right, let's just bring these guys up. I don't know, I just feel as if it's unnecessary. And there's also the whole thing about wrestlers who've been there forever. You've got wrestlers who are handing in their notices now, who are unhappy with how they're being used, if at all. And then these guys come in and just take over, and quite literally take over, and they're getting the matches and the TV time. Thoughts? Where do you land? Do you land on the pros or cons side of it?
Right, so I'm all for doing something different. I'm all for the element of surprise. But to repeat what you said, why?
Exactly.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, I was happy to see them. DIY versus Revival. Like,
I've still to see that match actually.
Yes, fucking please. DIY versus the Bar. Yes, please. Get to watch Aleister Black. Just watch him wrestle anytime. Yes, please again. But, and it's a huge but. Why do you bring people up and have no plan for them? And maybe they will have a plan for them. 3 of the guys who we don't know if it's permanent or if we've just done it as a one-off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go with assumption. Let's just say, even if it's permanent, 3 of them shouldn't be there yet. Aleister Black, like we say, is probably the only one you've got, right, okay, his time in NXT has come to a natural end.
His has, I would agree.
So, why now as well are we getting Gargano and Ciampa teaming up? And I know the end of the last takeover, kind of side by side, raising the titles, and have teased it.
There's still a hint of animosity between them though on NXT.
And there is, and the reason why none of them got a pop, Ricochet got one, was for a couple of reasons. The crowd was shit anyway all night, but people just don't realise not everyone watches NXT. So people are going to be looking at these guys and say, who?
Uh-huh.
You can't possibly tell the Gargano and Ciampa storyline in one segment. No. Or just having Michael Cole read a few lines. You can't. It's too deep. That's over time and a couple of interviews and a couple of promo videos, etc. But they're just suddenly paraded out in Raw and SmackDown. And I know Rob showed a tweet earlier on saying, well, what are they going to be, like someone saying, well, what are they going to be doing at WrestleMania? Hold on, like, motherfucker, you don't even know if they're going to be at WrestleMania. It could be a one-off thing.
Uh-huh.
If it's a one-off thing, I think that baffles me more.
Uh-huh. That's not what I'm concerned about. It's not how they're used. It's why they're there in the first place. But part of me is wondering, because there was a very notable absence of a certain Patrick Clark. Could this actually be Triple H breaking down the fourth wall? And this is addressed because apparently there is a big announcement on NXT tonight. Are they going to break down the fourth wall and address this on NXT, the upcoming tapings? Will it be a case of Velveteen Dream, who has made his wishes known that he wants to be called up, even through his attire choices and whatnot? Could this be a sort of mini Velveteen Dream Triple H feud in the works? Not even a match. I don't mean a match. I just mean Velveteen Dream feels as if he's underappreciated by management. Maybe.
So what did you say, at the next tapings there's going to be an announcement, or the announcement's going to be on NXT tonight?
I think it's tonight. I think so.
I haven't seen any kind of spoiler about that. I honestly don't know what to think of it. Like, it doesn't make sense that you would just suddenly do it on a random Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, Aleister Black's the only one that makes sense for me, for him to come up at this moment in time.
I think Aleister Black will actually do well.
I think he'll do very well.
I might be biased because I love the guy. I've got really high praise for him, but I think he'll work well on the main roster. And
I know our boys on the Outsider's Edge have long said Daniel Bryan versus Aleister Black, and that could happen. But I kind of think, like, we need to wait and see what happens next week. Because if they're not there next week, then we'll realise it was just this kind of one-off, and I don't know if that's worse or not.
You should definitely wait till after the announcement tonight.
Yeah, but it was strange to see. Like,
we'll see what happens.
It was very strange, especially to see DIY teaming up together and not even kind of explaining their history, because it's that the last sort of 18 months or 2 years or whatever, you know, that storyline has layer upon layer upon layer.
The Kevin Owens Sami Zayn history was addressed.
Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins as well. So it was extremely strange to see.
We should live by our own mission statement though, and just wait and see what happens.
Oh, definitely. Come next week if they're back on, then we'll kind of get an idea that they're here permanently.
So
I can't imagine they'll be here permanently, if I'm honest with you. I don't see how you can lose Ricochet, Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa all at the same time.
I know. It's odd, but that might be addressed in future tapings. So for the short term, there is a bit of concern, and I think it's not a good thing short term, but see long term, and I'll tie in this with Ty Dillinger's announcement on social media during our night last night, that he's handed in his notice. So you've got the movement of the 4 guys, these all-stars, going up to the main roster potentially permanently. I've said many times that there's just too much on the rosters, all of the rosters, and there needs to be a spring cleaning of sorts. See if people are unhappy with how they're being used or not being used, then follow Ty Dillinger's lead. And if you're not happy, leave, put in your notice. If it's accepted, that is, because I really think they just need to get rid of a lot of the waste, because there are a lot of talent being wasted, and it's time to sort of do the spring cleaning and work with what you've got, because they're not in a position now to sign whoever they want, whenever they want, because you've got competition from AEW and it's the second time in 2 weeks you've mentioned them. in the signing market, that's all. That's the only competition they've got. Just go, be happy elsewhere, and it'll free up space, and you'll see, hopefully, work done with the other lesser used people. So I think long term it could work out, and a wee rejig of the rosters could be in order. I like that Ty Dillinger just addressed it and put it out there, so there's no speculation. I like that. Yes. Some people could take that lead as well. But let's not fucking kid ourselves here. Ty Dillinger's going to go to another company and still be a fucking mid-card guy, because that's all he is. He's I know he's not going to be a world champ anywhere. Let's not fucking pretend it's, that it's someone like Seth Rollins or Andrade or someone like that being released. He wasn't even potentially released. He wasn't even a lowercase superstar on NXT. Yeah, I say so. That guy's not happy, wants to go do something else. Fair play to him. He's addressed it, put it out there, and he's putting an end to speculation. I appreciate that. Salute him and wish him luck. I do wish him luck. Yeah. But enjoy. I agree with you that everyone knows the roster's bloated, and we're not even talking about because there's just certain spots. There's only so many spots at the top, so many spots here, etc., etc. But you have got so many wrestlers just languishing, and it's like, do you really need that person? I'm not talking about releasing like high-end, top-tier talent. I'm talking about releasing talent that rarely gets used. Mm-hmm. The Dillingers, the Sanities. Hell, even, I know Zack Ryder's been, and Hawkins have been kind of featured a little bit the last few weeks, but there you go, you got Mojo, so many more. There's just so many more. The likes of No Way Jose. There's so much talent that you could get rid of. And to be honest, I don't think many people would bat an eyelid. See, if those three that you mentioned, if I never saw them again,
Couldn't care less.
I'm not going to care. Nothing against those guys.
No,
But-
and I like Zack Ryder though. I do like Zack Ryder. I've always kind of liked him, and I've always liked how he's got himself over and got himself out there.
I can't stand his face. His beard and jawline is just far too. It's far too rigid and shapely. I can't look at him without feeling intense hatred for that super square beard.
That's how Vince must have felt when he was just looking at Christian.
See that cartoon American Dad?
Yes.
You know how the dad's got like a super prominent chin and jaw?
Yeah.
Well, that's what Zack Ryder's got. He's just got this massive jaw that he's trying to hide under a supremely precisely cut beard, and it's disgusting. So stay off my screen, Zack Ryder. I'm not giving you my $9.99 a month, pal.
No. Pounds, not dollars.
That can be our new T-shirt and pro wrestling tees.
Let's put that out there.
Pounds, not
Just
dollars.
to remind everyone.
Anything else?
We pay more and we got access later on.
I know. And we have to wait till Monday morning to watch their fucking pay-per-views.
Oh, we don't. That's true. We do. Technically, we do need to wait until Monday morning.
Before, if you get anything else you want to add apart from what was announced this morning?
No, that's all I was going to mention.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Ricky and Clive will do their utmost, well, maybe if I ask him nicely, Ricky will, to get tickets for one of the tapings for NXT UK, which will be taking place on the outskirts of Glasgow City Centre. I'm so excited.
Oh, I cannot wait. I can't wait to see Gallus because they are going to get an amazing pop.
See, on a much more modest scale, for anyone who follows NU religiously, then this is going to be a sort of mini version of the Canadian Stampede. It will, because Gallus, wherever they go in England, they're hated, they're slagged for their accents, they're booed out the building. It's not even because they're from Glasgow, it's the heavy ICW contingent that will go to those tapings as well. Gallus will be cheered for at least 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks of TV, and you'll be sitting watching thinking,
what the hell is going on?
What's going on here? It'll be Bizarro World.
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter who's in the ring with Joe Coffey. That person's getting booed. They're getting booed, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
So, tickets go on sale at 10 AM on Friday. And I will be doing my very best to get 2 tickets.
And we'll be going to the Friday taping, which is a Good Friday.
Is it?
For all you Easter marks out there. So it's
excellent.
It'll be a very good...
Joe Coffey comes out, the diehard Celtic man, we'll start blessing him.
I was going to say you'll have the oil...
You'll have the...
but that's the Ash Wednesday thing. But that's the wrong thing. That's
I know. It's still...
But that would be funny.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
Or if he's missing a beat because he wasn't allowed to eat meat that day.
The thing is, right, we've spoke so much about when they come to Glasgow, we are going. So we need to get a ticket. I want to be front row.
Right.
Front row and centre. Just so everyone can see this 10 out of 10 face. Maybe my father will tell me he loves me at that point.
Will
after
you
seeing me on TV.
And will you have the oily, ashy crucifix on your forehead, even though that's the wrong day?
Because I'm Muslim, so no.
Oh, I don't know why, but that's made me laugh. That's made me really amused.
I'm excited, can't wait. So it's Friday 9 and 10.
So
that'll probably be what?
19-20.
2 hours or 3 hours each night.
And obviously we won't see all the backstage stuff, so we'll still watch them after the fact, but that's good news for us NU fans.
Definitely. And it's literally just like it's 15 minutes down the road for us. Braehead Arena.
Telling you guys, Gallus will be treated like gods.
Cannot wait. I'm really excited. Really excited. Now we just need to get tickets for it.
Yep. Which might be hard.
I'm sure it will be. I'm not entirely sure how much. I've never been to an event in Braehead Arena, so I don't even know what the capacity is.
I don't know. I would say 4. I was there for a WWE event after WrestleMania 20. Kept looking at the curtain, waiting for the return of the Dead Man's return. Never happened, but we had Cena, Jericho, Cena, Guerrero and Rikishi in a 6-man tag against Big Show and someone else. And then Cena, Guerrero and Rikishi did the wee dance at the end.
Alright.
And that's right, because it was Mother's Day that day, and Paul Heyman cut a promo during the match and said, "My mom wants me to wish all of you wankers a happy Mother's Day." It's amazing.
We need to wear our Ricky and Clive T-shirts.
Yes.
Well, one could wear it and the other one could wear Social Suplex.
Or the other one could just wear an arrow.
So that's fine.
We need to make sure we're sitting in the right seats. Right, enough nonsense. Quiz time?
Yes.
Okay.
It's fucking quiz time with Ricky and Clive and friends. A fucking WWE quiz.
So, after witnessing the first ever women tag team titles, let me say that again. After witnessing the first ever women's tag team championship presented at Chamber, the theme of the quiz is first time ever. So question number 1. The first ever Hell in a Cell took place at which pay-per-view and year?
Now, I don't know if this was actually an in your house one. So will I get points if I just say it was Bad Blood 1997?
That's correct. I wasn't bothering if it was good if you want to say it in your house.
Was it an in your house?
It was. Question number 2. The first ever Money in the Bank ladder match took place at WrestleMania 21.
Mm-hmm.
But in which city was this?
I had the DVD. So not only can I tell you which city, I can tell you which district it was in. It might not even be that district, but it was in, as Austin calls it, Los Angeles.
Correct.
WrestleMania goes to Hollywood.
Question number 3.
I love that WrestleMania so badly.
Okay. By the way, I only have 7 questions.
That's fine.
Question number 3. Becky Lynch pinned/submitted who to win the inaugural SmackDown Women's Championship in the 6-pack challenge?
Oh, very good question. I'm going to say it wasn't Alexa Bliss. Becky Lynch. Who did she tap? Who did she beat? I'm trying to think if there were any nobodies then at the time.
We'll give you a clue.
I'll say Carmella.
Correct.
Oh, yes.
At which pay-per-view?
What was it called? No Mercy?
Wrong.
Backlash?
Correct. 4 out of 4? In which city did the first ever NXT War Games take place?
Houston.
Shout out to the Brother Rans. Question number 6. Are you going to get 100% this week as well?
Doesn't count as much though because it's only 7 questions.
Oh, thanks. Question number 6. The New Day defeated who to win their first tag team titles at Extreme Rules 2015?
Primetime Players.
What the fuck, were they still around at that point?
Uh-huh.
Well, no, it wasn't them anyway.
2015, so it was still, what's the word? One brand.
So here's I'll give you a hint. One of these men have went on to win multiple more tag team championships.
It was Cesaro and Tyson Kidd.
Correct. Last question.
That was a good match, if I remember, because Biggie did a big belly-to-back suplex to Kidd out on the floor, and it looked brutal.
Tyson Kidd and Cesaro were a great tag team as well.
Mm-hmm.
Last question. Who was the first person to ever win the King of the Ring back-to-back?
The best there was. The best there is.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
Yes.
Bret Hart.
And since we've mentioned Bret Hart, I'm just going to put out there, by the way, Bret Hart greater than Shawn Michaels.
I can't say I would disagree with you. There's one failing for Bret Hart for me.
Which is?
He looks bored in his matches. Thoroughly disinterested in what's going on down.
No, I wouldn't agree. I think his ring psychology, everything, he just took so serious and it meant a lot to him enough.
His body language was on point. Just...
I think he is the GOAT.
See his tag team with Neidhart. I would say he was very facially animated then, not so much in his singles run. But that's me nitpicking because he is the GOAT.
I think he is. I think he is the greatest. And I know,
Kurt's the GOAT.
How do you determine? Do you package it all together? I think in-ring ability alone, ring and everything tied in with that, I think he is. I don't think I've ever saw anyone better.
Did I give you a loan of his book?
I think you might have.
Well, I've got a couple more if you want them.
Why not?
Edge's is very good, and Jericho's is very good as well.
Might be getting that Balak train on Friday then.
The Balak train, I finish at 5, I'm afraid.
No thanks.
Face it, I'll never see you in person again until Good Friday.
That's going to be a great day. We're just going to walk around the arena just blessing everyone.
And Joe Coffey will bless us back.
Oh, I was so hoping he would have replied to my tweet.
I didn't think he would.
No, I didn't, to be honest. I was just happy he liked my Celtic tweet. The best part about that, though, was that Rich thought I was in America.
That's right.
Sorry, Rich.
So, was he thinking Boston Celtics or something?
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug before we go?
I'll let you do the plug and I'll see if I want to add anything onto it.
Right, well, first of all, Pro Wrestling Tees, the Social Suplex page has the very... Your guys, Ricky and Clive, have got their own T-shirt up now, so if you haven't got one yet, if you feel like it, please go ahead and buy that there. Our podcast is on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Please rate and review with a nice, lovely 5 stars, 5 snowflakes on the podcast app of your choice. You have, as well as us, you've got Grown Men Watch This Shit, you've got Omega Luke, you've got Wilfred Watches, Keeping It Strong Style, What's Their Faces, All Elite Wrestling, no, All Things Elite, sorry, and Rich and James with One Nation Radio. you can head over to the Wrestling Squares Circle Facebook group, where all those folk that we've just mentioned there are in this Square Circle Facebook group to say hello. Socialsuplex.com. You can get the podcasts there, you can get the columns there, you can subscribe and get them sent direct to your email inbox. We are at Ricky and Clive on Twitter and Facebook. Again, I feel as if I'm missing something.
I've got it. Now, granted, I was looking at my phone again, so I might fuck this up that I done last week. Folks, make sure you download and listen to the Good Brothers, The Outsider's Edge, where you can find on Chairshot Radio.
There you go. You didn't miss me saying that.
No, that's who I wanted to shout out. Just because they're no longer on the network doesn't mean we won't be plugging their stuff.
Keep them alive in your hearts. Always use your heed.
Yep, we'll gone but not forgotten. Well, in my case, gone but not forgotten, but Clive's case, clearly forgotten.
Did you see that Mark Henry thing?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Did you see the bit he was talking about one of his children's going to be wrestling for WWE in the future? Mm-hmm. They're still quite young, so it's not really set in stone that they'll be a superstar, but there's quite the hand in the ring already. Do you know what's funnier than that?
Go on.
During work in the quiet time or the Skype time today, I was doing some bullet points for tonight that I wanted to make sure that I addressed, and I scribbled that joke on the back of the notepad thing just so I could remember it, and I lost a bit of paper on the train home. So someone's walking about saying, who the hell is this Mandy Rose person? Who's Nia Jax? And then they'll turn over the bit of paper and see the joke. Right. Night, ladies and gentlemen. We'll speak to you next week.
Take care, folks.
Thank you for listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.